Kyle, Jim Henry from the Joplin Globe. Your first 3 ball games have all been down to the wire. How's your fingernails?
Wore off, gone. I mean, it's been thrill rides and nail biters, like you said, and it's been fun, but a little too close for comfort. So I'd like to get back to the winning ways and winning more comfortably. That would be nice.
What do you think it's going to take for you guys to get those comfortable wins?
Team focus for four quarters. That's something that we lapsed the past 3 weeks. Against NSU, we had mental mistakes, mental errors in the first half. Then we corrected some of those in the second half, but at that point they were still able to hang around and make a game out of it. And so I think if we put it together for 4 quarters, we'll be good to go. We'll be fine.
What do you think? What do you think the potential is for this team when they finally do get that full game put together?
No ceiling. That's something that we've talked amongst ourselves as players is once we get everything clicking together, once the offense complements the defense and vice versa, and the special teams gets going in our advantage, we can be a dangerous team. We just haven't shown that yet. We haven't proved that to ourselves yet, and I think we have a good opportunity to do that this weekend, and that's what we strive to do.
Can you tell a difference in how Thomas has played at quarterback this year compared to what he did last year?
Tommy's been great this year. He's been a lot better. I think he's got a lot more confidence in himself. You can tell, and it's been great to watch him and be a part of his change. I think he's matured so much in 1 season, and he's just playing so much better now than compared to last year.
Does that give you guys a sense of comfort, at least from the offensive standpoint, knowing that if John does go down, you have somebody there who can pick up the slack without much drop-off in production?
Oh, absolutely. We believe in the next man up theory. We've proved that we can win with either quarterback, and so we feel comfortable with whoever's back there. It doesn't make a difference to us.
Is there anything that stands out that you guys need to clean up after these first 3 games?
Yeah, we have a lot of mental mistakes, as I alluded to earlier. The focus and just really playing our best game, and I think we can do that with not making no mistakes, no penalties, offensively, no turnovers. Little things like that really make a difference in the game. Week 1 of GCM, we let up a punt, go for a touchdown, and we lost by 7. And that's sickening to us, and so I think we just clean up little mistakes like that, mental blunders, get those out of the way, we'll be a lot better.
Does it give you any confidence going into Lindenwood after the dramatic fashion win and over Northeastern State?
Yeah, give us a little bit of a roll, a little bit of what the word am I looking for? Momentum. There we go. Give us a little bit of momentum going into the next week, and something for us to build off of. But it's our job as a team to not put ourselves in that situation again, coming down to the wire. I think that we prepared really well this week, getting our feet back under us, so to speak, injury-wise, and so I think we're going to come out looking pretty good.
Darian, Jim Henry from the Globe in Joplin. Take us through the 2-point conversion play last week. Did you feel more pressure knowing the game was right there on the line compared to the rest of the game?
Honestly, not too much, no. We just knew we had to make a stand. That was the moment of truth right there, so made a play.
What did you see develop from where you were?
Well, we saw they brought in this linebacker for their running back, and the formation they lined up in, we knew it was going to be some kind of power running play, and we made a good call on defense as the blitz turned on, and we just shut it down.
And it was you and Deshaun?
Deshaun and I believe Ned Bingaman made the play initially, and then I got in there pretty late.
You like it when it comes down to defense making one play?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, we live for that, definitely.
What types of things are you, as a defense, trying to clean up after these first 3 games?
We feel like we haven't played a complete game yet, put it all together, so we're just looking to play our game to our level and put a whole game together and see what happens then.
Coach Beck says giving up the big play has been kind of an issue. I know it was last year too. I mean, what can you do specifically to try and cut those down? I know they can be kind of.
I think a lot of it's just mental errors, and just it's little mistakes that can be corrected easily. So it's just a matter of being mentally focused and zeroing in and knowing what we have to do.
How frustrating is it to get stop after stopping it and then get beat on something?
It's very frustrating, but it happens. It's part of the game. We just gotta buck up, make a stand again, get off the field somehow.
How big is it for the offense to play with the defense and vice versa?
It's huge. We feed off each other. So when we see them rolling, we gotta use that momentum when we get back on the field and get off the field and get the offense back on, so we can keep rolling, and get a W.
Does that help when you guys are, say, coming out of the locker room trailing, you guys come out and get 2 touchdowns? Does that help the defense knowing, hey, our offense is out there scoring points for us? That's why
Exactly. Exactly. You know, it's just motivation. We motivate each other and feed off each other, just like that.
Is that one of your more memorable wins in your time here at Pitt?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's comparable to my senior year. We had a high school game and first round of playoffs. We had a 5 overtime winner. You know, it kind of brought me back to that a little bit, but you know, it was very exciting.
What do you expect them to see out of Lindenwood offensively?
They've got some good athletes. Definitely, they want to get the ball into the best athletes' hands on the edge a little bit. And they got 2 different quarterbacks been playing. One's really a pocket passer, doesn't move a lot, and the other guy that came in last week, he really scrambles a lot. So you know, depending on who's in, we want to kind of keep the ball inside the box and make a play there. So.
Coach, your first 3 ball games have come down to the wire. How are your fingernails?
Well, it's you know, these have been some very challenging games for us, and we've been in every single game. Fortunately, we've been able to win 2 of them, and you know, we could be sitting here 3-0, 0-3, 2-1, 1-2. We could be sitting here with different combinations that we're at right now, but the bottom line is our kids have shown that they can come back from behind and get back in the game, and there's no quit in them. We would like to. Last week we got to where we had a 10-point lead and had an opportunity to put Northeastern State away, and we didn't do it. We let them back in it. So you know, we've got to get our kids to understand to play at a high level all the time and never relax.
What do you see on film about Lindenwood?
Lindenwood is absolutely a much improved team. They have shown that they can score a lot of points. They've scored a lot of points the first 3 games. And then on defense, you flip it over to the defensive side, and they're led by Connor Harris, who's the all-time Division II tackle leader, and he's their leader. He's their team leader. And so, you know, they're based out of a 4-3 on defense. Like a lot of people, they'll get to a 4-2 depending on offensive formations, but see a very talented defensive team that is led by, you know, one of the all-time players in Division II.
What makes Connor Harris such a good linebacker?
Well, I think the fact that you know, he was a former quarterback in high school, so he's really smart in what he does. He's built to where he's, you know, really strong, and he can run well. He understands the game of football. That's why they've used him before in the past. They've used him as a wildcat quarterback. They use him as a punter part of the time. He's been on all special teams, so he's kind of a do-it-all type guy. And just I think the big thing is understand how to play the game, and that makes him such a good player.
Who will the Gorillas start at quarterback on Saturday?
Well, both quarterbacks will be ready. I think John is ready. We're kind of still giving both of them reps throughout the week, so we'll probably wait and make that decision Friday or Saturday.
And Michael Rose, is he available?
Michael Rose will probably not play this weekend.
Coach, what kind of things are you still looking to clean up after the first 3 games?
Well, you know, consistency on offense. We've kind of had a rotation, which we don't want to have. We've had a kind of a rotation up front, offensive line. So I think once we kind of get settled in and get to maybe the same 5 guys for once up in the offensive line, I think that'll help us some. Had to rotate some people a little bit at different positions, and I think just, you know, kind of collectively getting everybody together and you know, being understanding that when we came out in the third quarter the other day, we were challenged a little bit, came out and scored, got the ball back, scored again, just being consistent offensively. So things like that are things that we need to improve on. Defensively, it's not giving up the big play. We stop people over and over and over, and then we give up a big play and, you know, let somebody back in. We got to make sure that we make them earn it. And right now, we're giving them some big plays and making it a little bit easier on them.
Coach, you could say from the Morning Sun, is there a reason for the big plays given up? Like, do you just see it being you guys are maybe just being a little bit too aggressive in certain?
Well, I think at times maybe, you know, we've been aggressive and it's cost us a little bit, but that's part of playing defense. You can always second guess yourself on everything you do. So, you know, we just, you know, got to be smarter about what we're doing at what times, and you know, when we have an opportunity where we bring pressure, we've got to cover better, you know. So it's a combination of both. And like I said, Central Missouri's got a very good football team. We played lights out defensively in the first half of that game. And then since then, we've been up some big plays in certain situations. But again, I think just consistency is a thing for us on both sides of the ball.
Coach, you talk about the run game every week. Through the first 3 games, the passing game, how have you felt about that through the first 3?
Well, Levi Copeland's had 3 really good games. We had the game where we had 4 or 5 drops, but our quarterbacks have been finding ways to get the ball to the receivers, which is good. And Levi's the leading receiver, but you can't just focus on him because Panko's having a good year, and Brenner Clemens is hard to cover as well. So we've got some other guys to throw the football to. We spread you out pretty well at times. People have to make a decision if they're going to cover Levi one-on-one on the backside, and that kind of puts them in a little bit of a bind. So, just continue to do what we're doing, I think, and be more consistent. I think we can become even more explosive offensively.
What kind of a growth have you seen from Levi this year from last?
Well, he's much improved. He's worked extremely hard on his skill sets to get him as a better player, become a better player. I think he plays stronger. Last year a couple times he'd get caught on the line of scrimmage with some people, and I haven't seen that happen this year. And I think that he's definitely has shown that he's fast enough to go score on a deep one if he needs to, and so he becomes difficult to defend because of different things he can do. The other thing about Levi is, you see all of his stats and his catches and stuff, but he's also a great special teams player for us, and he's a good blocker as well. He gets right after you, and which when you have a receiver that does those kind of things, it shows that he's a team player.
Coach, what kind of confidence does it give you heading into Lindenwood after this last week's game, winning in dramatic fashion?
Well, I think every week is a huge challenge, and again, we're awfully glad we won that game last week, and we wished it wouldn't have came down to that, but it did. Our guys found a way to fight through it and get the win. Again, kind of like the week before, hopefully it's something we can build on, and I'm hoping that even though we've got a fairly young team, that we're maybe gaining some confidence through these last 2 weeks, understanding that we have high expectations of where we want to be, and we're not there yet. So still feel like we have a lot of room for improvement.
What does it say about the team mentality? Like you said, you guys have a young squad. You guys are still able to come back, even if trailing in the fourth quarter, and get some wins. What does that say about you guys?
Well, again, I think that I think it's encouraging for our coaching staff to see. Now there's some frustrations at times because we're making too many mistakes, and again, we didn't put Talcott away like we had an opportunity to, and that is a sign of youth sometimes. But the encouraging thing is we got, for example, everybody just doesn't pay much attention, but Ryan Dodd is a redshirt freshman. He started every game for us at right tackle. It's not easy to start as a freshman in the offensive line or defensive line like Seaman Thomas is doing at defensive tackle. So got some young guys playing, and they're doing well. And as you get wins and as you get games and as you get plays under your belt early in the season, it just makes you better down the road.
For John, is it just a kind of a deal with the pain thing? Is it still bothering him this week?
I think so. We were actually, haven't talked much about it. Once we got cleared with the doctor to go ahead and play, he's okay to go. He could have possibly went last week, but it was a situation where we felt like if we'd have gave him a little bit more time, maybe it just helps us that much more down the road. We'll just see how he does, and like I said, we'll see how he does again today at practice. Both him and Thomas are taking reps, and we'll make a game time decision on late Friday or early Saturday on who we're going to go with.
How have you felt Thomas played in John's absence?
Well, I think Thomas has shown huge improvement from a year ago. The confidence that he has, some of the plays that he's made have been fantastic, and some of the throws that he has made have been very good. And He's extended some series with his legs where he's been flushed and goes and gets his first down on a scramble, and he's made some mistakes like every quarterback does every weekend, but I think he's vastly improved from a year ago.
That glove John was wearing to throw before game, is that for lack of grip strength, or is that just to hold some padding in place?
Both, mainly just to make sure we have a good grip on the ball. So he's going to try that out, and if he gets to where it's not comfortable, he'll get rid of it. But for right now, it's kind of been just a comfort thing to make sure he's got a good grip on the football.